Okay. Hello. So this is a meeting about non-duality. Non-duality. It's a strange word. Non-duality. A lot of people don't know the word. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's knowing the word or not. It's only saying there's not two. There's only one. And when there's living in the world, I'm in my life, and I meet people, and everything is happening to you. There's a world, circumstances happen to you, or feelings happen. Are your feelings? Thoughts are your thoughts. So they happen to you. And there's also a really strong, you could say, belief that you're there. This is my life, and I have to make the best of it. That's what most people think. And then there's this message and saying, no, there's no you. There's no one. There's no one inside. So there's also no free will. There's also no choice. That's already crazy, because normally it's about free will and choice. And the choice is very important because it's a world of good and bad. That's the two, of course, too. Like good and bad and better and worse. And that's trying to get rid of that awful feelings or pain and moving towards nice feelings, comfortable, happiness, love, all that. That's what most people believing or are convinced of. When there's one, there's no choice. There's what is happening, which is already going on. There's only what's happening. There's that what's happening is it, and it's everything. So you can't miss it. And when there's a feeling of I am here, then there's suddenly something outside of what is happening. It's when there's no me, there's nothing going on. There's only what's happening, and it's the only thing there is. When there's that huge embodied belief that there's someone, it feels like there's something incomplete. There's something missing, not right yet. Am I outside of it? And maybe in circumstances, it's even confirmed that you're not belonging. There's no freedom. There's a lot of things going on in the story. This is not talking about freedom in the story. It's another possibility. It's another possibility which has nothing to do with the story. That's the joy. It's already what is going on. And that seems odd, because it seems like, oh, the world is awful, and this is my life is, there's a lot of boredom or problems, or seems to be not going right. But when they're saying no, there's no one. It's not happening to you, and circumstances are not real. They are apparent circumstances. Everything is an appearance. Nothing is real. So when there's me, there seems everything is real and solid. And then it becomes important what's happening to you and what's going on with you or friends. There's no one. There's also no one seem to be children or other people. There's already no one. So there's also nowhere to go. I am living my life. It's living my life in time. There's distance. I just saw a video of a little boy of 2 years old, and the grandparents were saying, "Oh, but could you take that how do you say that uh, that which is lying next to the dishwasher?" And he was looking, and I was looking, and he couldn't find it because he didn't understand. Was before him, was backwards, was left and right. He didn't understand that. So that brain isn't abstracting, and then it's not sophisticated enough, or it's not already like that. That we can abstract what's left, what's right. So it's not the normal way. It's like how brain is working when you're a little bit older than 2. And then it's understanding there's left and right and development, and there's continuation, there's time, there's before and after, and there are consequences also. When there's time, there are consequences. There's something happening before and you did not the right thing, so there are consequences. And then there's, after a while, there's really believing and into that. So there's some behavior coming on. So that's always about, there's a certain behavior is a right behavior, this is wrong, and in different countries there's different rules. So there's not one thing that's right or wrong. It's you can't say what right and wrong. It's a lot of times it's different. So it's not solid. Nothing is solid. Nothing is real. There's nothing more important than anything else. That's strange, because in the world of me and I'm living my life, there seems always something more important than something else. Looking for that moment, maybe, because there's believing in time and believing in a continuation or development. There's no development. But in a way, it seems awful, because then there's no hope. There's no hope for something else. The other side is, it's already this. It's already what's happening. And it's everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. It's very subtle and tiny and not really something special. It's it, it's the hand, it's the table. And it's not about you. So there's no center. When there's no center, it's not that you have to find it, or you have to understand it, or be clear about it. There's nothing to do with that. It's already what is happening, and what's happening is everything. So there's also thoughts, maybe, but nothing has any meaning. But there are thoughts coming, arising. How can you say? They're there, and then something else. And it's like that. Thoughts can happen, emotions, the street or a table. It's everything, and nothing is real. Thoughts are not real, the body isn't real. It's an appearance. It doesn't say there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on, and in the same time, there's everything. Everything like flowers and streets and feelings, but not for anyone. There is no one here. There's nothing, there's no center. And I was talking to someone, and then there was also very obvious that then when there's no me, there's also no awareness. When the me is when that doesn't arise anymore, that whole construct about looking at yourself and trying to find out and understand and all that, when that's not arising, then there's also no awareness, and there's still living. It's just going. Everything goes by itself, so there's no need to decide. That seems so obvious, and it's already going like that. Life doesn't see you. Life doesn't think, oh, what shall I do for her, something like that. No, it's energetic, so it's going in that way. And we think like all this body is real, and here is the border, and I'm here and I'm moving towards something else. It's abstracting. It's the brain that can abstract. There's no distance. There's no time. That's crazy. This, maybe it's not understood. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's understood, but it's when it's understood, then there's a clarity. There's still that searching some way, because there seems to be not really in it, or nothing going on about it anymore. So there can be still a subtle searching or looking for something. And it's not something, it's everything. So you can't look for it. You can't look for it. You will not find it, because it's everything. It's everything already, and everything, that means the breath, that the watch, it's everything. And there's nothing more important, special than anything else. So we can talk about that. And there can be questions. Maybe there are questions in the story. That doesn't matter. When there are questions in the story, then that's what's coming or right or happening. Don't need to talk in non-duality talk or not saying me or something like that. It's normal. It's very normal. This is so normal and ordinary. So we can just talk, and you can unmute yourself if you want to say something.
Hi, Rose. I'm going to speak.
Hello. Hi.
So, gosh, it's hard to say. I can't listen to this message anymore. I've come to where I leave after 5 minutes of listening some other meetings, and then I don't go on other ones I intended to go. And it's like, I've just, it's realization it's never going to go anywhere. There was obviously an expectation,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not the reality, but that's how the mind works. That I just can't stand it anymore. It's like it's almost so harsh, because there's nothing that you can get, or there's no one, and whatever is happening physically, I need to break away from this to give myself a breathing space and my body some time to move, because I've just done too much, and I just sit like so tight listening for hours on end, and it's there's a sadness there, because almost there's so much investment in listening to this. Put my heart and soul, the saying is, and so it's hard when you're so invested in something, maybe hopes, I don't know, or love, and then it's like, yes, but I just can't anymore.
Yeah.
And I've booked retreats, and then the mind is going on, yes, but what about these retreats? Do I still go on the retreats? It's you know, it's like eating so much that you feel sick because you're eating too much, you know, you're so full. But anyway, I just had to yeah, I just felt like I needed to share that, because it is a difficult, it feels like a difficult moment or a difficult time, you know. It's like yeah, there's a grief and a sadness, because I want to like get me out of here. I don't want to listen to this anymore, or just
what you want? You don't want what?
I don't want to listen to this anymore. Get me out of here, you know. It's just, it might simply be because my body needs movement and fresh air, and it ended up, well, just listening to this, and the rest of life is
But there's a lot
completely
of
abandoned.
it's a lot of interpretation about what's going on. I can't even
Right.
not really understand everything. Maybe they're sitting and there's maybe a sadness or something else, but I don't know why. It can be like
Yeah,
thinking it's because of this, but that's an idea. It's a concept, and it seems really true because you can see it. But no, there can be sadness, and that's on its own. It's sadness, and they're sitting, or maybe something else.
right.
And it's becoming a whole story about what's going
Yes,
on. Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah. There can be like a stress somewhere in the body. That
Yeah.
can
No,
be there.
it does
Doesn't
feel
mean that it has to.
stress.
You have to do something. I don't know, but it's stress, or maybe
Yes,
that
yes,
or
yes,
tension can be there. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Oh,
It's amazing. Straight away into the story, and
yeah.
the, the the response is so simple. It's just like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
ah,
Oh, yeah. Mm. Oh, yeah. Can be so convincing, but
ah,
that
it's
me contra.
so
It's so convincing, and
convincing.
oh my God, yeah,
It is,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
It
mm.
might be like that again. The story comes back like every time I'm on
Yeah,
Zoom.
can be, and then there can be like not that interested anymore, or maybe
Yeah,
suddenly you are. I
I
don't know.
think
It's different.
that that's it.
Yeah.
The fear is that I'm not going to listen to this anymore.
Hmm.
You know, at the same, the one
Yeah.
side says I've had enough, and the fear is, oh my gosh, what's going
Ah.
to happen if I don't
Yeah.
listen to this anymore?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or whatever story comes
Yeah,
up
but
is,
and that's the complication, like, "Oh my god," and then there's a whole
yeah.
story over there, and they're sitting. There's only sitting, something like that, or maybe something else, breathing, or I don't know. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh.
oh, thank you. Really, big
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Yeah, that can be so strong. We're so used to those thoughts, and then suddenly
Yeah,
it take it home. Yeah, sure.
it's almost like that fight or flight response. When you
Mm.
feel you're in danger, you either fight, or you run
Ah,
away, and
mm,
it feels like that again. That is storytelling.
yeah. We're so into the explanation, but it's so quick. It's not even noticed then, and then there's in it before you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Yeah, great. Mm.
Yeah, just one sentence popping up.
What? Sorry.
Here is just one sentence popping up.
Yeah.
There was no next.
There is no
Next.
next. No. 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 It's crazy. We're so living into time and everything what comes with that. Yeah. Mm. And then hearing there's no time, that's kind of abstract and thinking like days in the week or things like that. But it's huge. It's no next, no before, no consequences. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's wow, there's so much in that. So many concepts about time and continuation. That's also a big one because we want to survive. We want to go on. Even after death, we want to go on, all that. It's so continuation is also and development in that way is also a big part of it. The hope of something. Because that's subtly underneath. There's something going on. This is not it. There's not. This is not enough. It's not good enough. I'm not good enough. This is not good enough. There's something more. Trying to find it. Trying to. Ah, and then it's hearing. It's this already. When there's that abstracting and you see little children, there's just such aliveness and just there's no reason. It's just going. And then suddenly there's trying to behave and time and this is right and wrong and all that. And it seems like there's something missing. And that's some people are not, but some people are looking for that freedom or innocence or something like that, aliveness, that love, that unconditional love. And that's it's there. It's never been not there, but it's overlaid. It's overlooked by something that it's everything is solid and something. And when that's lost, it's about loss. When that's lost, maybe for a second, it's suddenly like, oh, it's this already. Yeah, it's almost too much. Somebody saying so touchy. Yeah. This is not going anywhere. This meeting is not going anywhere. It's not giving anything. There's no agenda for something to explain or to know. It's what's happening. So there's talking, maybe here or somewhere else. It seems like somewhere else, but there can be talking. There's no difference between here, this Rose, and somebody else. There's no difference. There can be a lot of ideas about how Rose is and I want that, or maybe somebody else. There's always trying to compare. There's always, a lot of times there can be a comparing of what's going on, but assuming that you know what's going on. You don't. No, it's an idea that so many beliefs and concepts about that. It's what's happening. And that's going on, not for anyone. That's already. You can't miss it. It's the only thing there is. How can you miss everything? It's everything. How can you miss that? How can you look for that? It's everything. It's the face. It's that hand. It's a feeling. It's sensation. It's a tea. It's everything as it is. You can't do that. Like, oh, now it's at this, and now it's at that. That's already making it into something else. It's much more simple. Somebody's saying, so there's also no use listening to this. No. It's what's happening. So there's no choice. So there can be listening to this. There's listening. But it doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't bring you anywhere. No. Can't be. It's already complete as it is. It's already complete. So that's what's going on. There's something else. This strong energetic contraction in midst of boundlessness. Is this happening to no one? Also, can you talk about contraction and boundlessness, how it relates to nothing being everything? God, there can be a contracted energy. It's what's happening. But it feels when there's a little child and that's going on, and there can be contracted energy and not going on, and there's nothing going on, and then suddenly the brain can abstract, and then suddenly contracted energy, and it feels like, oh, I'm here, and there's someone else, something like that. There's suddenly distance, and it seems to be a starting of time, and all can also think like that. And then when there's talking in these kind of meetings, the contracted energy is called me. Well, I'm not sure if it's always me. It's more like me is that feeling there's something not right. And it can be so embodied and there can be so much tension in that. But when that whole construct of not being I am someone and all that is not going on, there can be still contracted energy. There can be stress or like that suddenly. The body contracts, can be like that. But there's nothing going on like what's going on or how does it feel or all that. Me, that contracted energy or me or that belief, I am here and how can I live my life? with awareness, trying to, with the thoughts and looking at myself and thinking about what's going on and seem to have a free will or choice. That seems to be very important to make things work, because that, although there can be an understanding of this, that feeling of choice can be very, very strong and very embodied. So there seems to be something going on, like choosing something else or something not doing or something. It's very subtle. It's very clever. It's a survival system. So it goes on in a certain way to stay alive, you could say. This is death. There's no Roes. There's no Roes. So there's nothing existing. There's only an appearance of things that goes on. So there's also no boundless energy. It's an appearance. So it can be contracted. It can be like it feels free. That there's no contraction. Can be like that. But it's not about feeling free. The freedom is in that it's everything. It's not a feeling of freedom. This is not talking about feelings of some feeling happy, feeling freedom, or feeling guilt, or all that. It's everything. So it has nothing to do with the feeling. When they're talking about unconditional love, it's unconditional. It's everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. It's a flower. It's a tail. It's everything. That's unconditional love. You can't miss it. It's the only thing there is. So there are no boundaries. Or there can be contracted energy, but that's also unconditional love, contracting. And on top of that, what we think is like looking at it, and when there's a looking at it, there's always right and wrong, good and bad, and all that. So and it can be subtle or stronger, like, oh no, this is not it. Oh, what can I do about it, and all that. That's that me energy, could say me energy. It's not real, but it's trying. When there's an explaining that's calling it me, there is no me. There never has been a me. It's a story. Me is a story, the story of what's going on. That's making an interpretation about what's going on. It's so quick. We're so used to that. It's not even noticed. It's so seems to go on, and what we have to deal with. Yeah, can be that. There's nothing wrong or right with that too. But in the same time, when there's that going on, there can be a frustration or a feeling of So there is never someone. It's never happening to someone. There's never been like that. But that embodied belief that I'm here and everything is happening to me can be very, very strong. In a way, it's a misunderstanding, but it's so embodied you can't think yourself out of it or something like that. No, there's nothing wrong also with it. There's nothing wrong with that. So it doesn't need to change. That's also weird, because a lot of meetings are going about what can we change or what can be different or things like that. It's already complete as it is. It's exactly that. Even the thought, no, I can't see that, then that thought is it. It's just a thought. There's no meaning in that. Also, there are no relations. So nothing relates to anything. That's living in the world of two. Then in the story, everything is in a relation of something else or with you or like that. There is no relation. There's what is. It's that. It's as it is. Complete in itself is that. And you can't follow it. It's that quick. It's everything. There's no that. There's no before. It's This is the only thing there is. It's very simple. It's so simple. You can't even... Maybe it's understood or not. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even. Why? Understanding a glass of tea. Yeah. It's tea.
Hi again.
Hi.
So yeah, lovely listening to this, and there's still a lot of interpretation, I guess, of what is heard. Because first the story was coming up that there's such strong emotions coming up. And the story is that in the past, I would go and hide that emotion, you know. I would go in my bedroom, and then nobody would see that I was crying or depressed or whatever the story.
Yeah.
Or again, this finding the strong emotions that they felt as if they're attacking me. You know, and then you have to escape that unbearable stress, unbearable. You feel trapped in the strong, energetic. It's more energetic contraction than emotion. You know, it everything's so interpreted. By this me. So so listening to you, like you say, it's hearing a different suggestion.
And it's not even when there's strong feelings or strong sensation. It doesn't mean you have to stay in that or something like that. It's also that I thought that it's that can be like walking outside, like come on, and walking outside can be like that. I don't know.
Yes,
it's what's going on.
That's what I did earlier on. I left a Zoom meeting. I just had to get out and walk and just breathe.
Why not? It's what's going on. It's not a choice or doing that. It's just how that's going. I don't know there's no way to deal with things that way. That's the whole thing of being me, how to deal with everything. There's no dealing. That's what's going on. Closing the computer and going outside. So that's that.
Wow.
That's everything. That's the completeness.
And even the idea of wanting to escape the stress and go for a run.
But that's making that it's an idea that there's an escape. It's not an escape. There's no escape. You can't escape. There's no escape because what's going on is it doesn't mean you have to. That's an idea sometimes, but I notice also with myself I had that when there's a feeling, you have to feel it now or something like that. Oh no, I don't know. That was a new idea. No. It's going how it's going.
It's still this idea that everything's happening to me. You know, it's funny. I would have to think of time then, you know, when 2 years ago or a year ago, listening to this message, it's almost like there was less me. And it's, you know, it's like
can be like that. Can be like that. It can be. I had that also. For a while, it was not so much going on, and then it really came back. It's so different. It's so different. It's a survival mechanism, and there are some issues maybe. Then it's stronger with that, and then it jumps in, and then,
yes.
it's energetic. Yeah. But it's not. This is not like oh, now the me is. We know that story, like, oh, it's already now there's no me, not so much me anymore, and then suddenly, oh, there's much more me. that's also a story. There's not less me or more me. There is no me at all. It's an interpretation about what's going on, about how looking at yourself and how it's going, and it's about something maybe feeling more stressful or I don't know, whatever, and then making it into something, a story of me. No, there's
But
nothing in your hand.
yeah,
You don't have anything in your hand. That's what's happening
yes,
here.
yes,
Spots. It's like, oh, but there's me still going on. No, there's no me. So what is your next move?
wow.
Like that. Like you can't there's nothing in your hand anymore in the end. Yeah. And then suddenly, oh, oh, it's this. Yeah, of course. How couldn't well, there was so much going on, grasping it or trying to understand, or everybody has a different survival mechanism, of course.
Yes,
It can be so strong or subtle and then strong, and I don't know, it's energetic with a story and all that. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's like having a one-to-one with you today.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. Mm.
Thank you. Yeah, much needed in a way, you know. So
Yes.
thank you.
Great. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Me again. It's like a young child believing there's a monster under the bed. We can be so convinced
Yeah.
it's a story, and the
Yeah.
fear and the emotion comes up, and then it's so real, you know.
Yeah.
And it's all a story. That's just the sense of me and the story that goes with it.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just
Yeah.
wow, what a story, yeah.
And then suddenly it's seeing what the story means, because we're saying like, oh yeah, it's a story. And then suddenly seeing, oh, this is the story. Oh, and that's still, oh, that's what you mean with story. Suddenly it's like, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a good cinematography. you know,
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
filmmaking,
Yeah.
because everything comes to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Fills in the gaps. Because there's a lot of
yeah,
times there's nothing going on, and then suddenly it seems like it's whole day. The whole day is that it isn't. Well, yeah, yeah,
wow. Yes, I mean, that's hard to hear as well.
yeah,
That there's no before.
yeah,
So you couldn't say, to me it's like there's a weekly meeting, you know, on the Friday night and Saturday night.
mm,
So there's no Roes. Well, that's what he said.
yeah.
So for no Roes, is this like, that's it? There's never been any other meeting? I don't get it, you know.
No, well, no, you can't get. Sometimes it's suddenly it's clear, and then it's about loss. It's not about getting this. You can't. Then suddenly there's what happened about the story. Then suddenly it's like seeing like what's meant by that word. But we can be. I was like, oh, it's a story and all that. It's a story like in a book or all that. And suddenly it's like, oh, this is also a story. Oh, and then it's overwhelming. Like, oh, that's all a story. Then suddenly there's something, an openness for it. I don't know, something like that. And that's with all things. It's suddenly that time is so real, and then suddenly there can be a moment or longer that time isn't real. How can we think time is real? But in the same time, the story goes on, and of course, and then planning and all that. So but it's empty. Everything is empty. It's crazy. It's very simple. when there's me looking at it and trying to find out what's
Yes,
meant,
yes, yes, yes.
then it's a mystery. Everybody is in his own world, and there's 8 million people or something like that. 8 million worlds, and everybody thinking the way I see it, that's how it's going, and then it's amazing how that is. You can't even understand or imagine how that's going on. But it's with all ideas and all concepts, and then it's amazing how that's going. The misinterpretation, the misunderstanding. Oh, God, yeah.
Mm.
What is that's one. So yeah, not even names or what's being seen or felt, heard, sound, anything. It's one. It's the only thing there is. It's that, and then something else. There's nothing outside or that's already going into an interpretation or a concept about what's going on. It's very small, like small world. Nah, in that sense, it's not. There's no outside. There's a wall, or that. It's not happening to someone. There's no center. There's no center. So it's all energy, and it seems like there's a border in this body, but that's also a concept. There's no border. It's one. Hmm. That's a question. How, Rose? Is there anything that's actually real? No, there's nothing real. That's apparently real. So they're seeing the table or the floor, or there's a sensation somewhere. And it's nothing and everything or that sensation together. So the sensation or the table or whatever is empty. Oh, God. How can you understand that? I don't even understand it. But when saying that, it's like, yeah, it's like that. But this is not about, there's no need to understand that. Suddenly there can be something going on like, oh, it's not solid. Nothing is solid. When it's solid and real, and I'm here because then the body is also real, then everything becomes important because it's happening to me, and then dealing with that, and the whole thing is going on. And this is complete another possibility. It has nothing to do with the story. There are not so many people talking in that way, because normally it's talking in the story and trying to find out what's going on or how to deal with things. And this is saying, no, there's no dealing with things. There's no one. There's what's happening. And that the strange thing is that when everything is lost and there's what's happening, and that there's that aliveness, that a subtle or stronger joy, that's life, like little babies. That's, you can feel it or see it. It's like that, it's alive, it's joy, it's just that. But it doesn't have anything to do with what's going on. It doesn't matter. It's a feeling, or crying or shouting, or the table or something else. It's everything. And there's the joy. That's what's being looked for. But then there's no one, so it's not found. Yeah. It was already there, and then it was already. It's the only thing there is. It was already. Oh my God. Yeah. It's complete. Everything is complete as it is. We think like, oh, this is not complete yet. It should be like that, or it should be more like this, or more like that, or always like that. This is going wrong, and this is going wrong. Endless and endless going on. And then here it's complete as it is. It's nearly impossible to understand or believe, because that huge feeling that's underneath everything is going on, like, oh, there's something missing, there's something wrong, we have to fix it, we have to make it right, all that. It's so convincing. And suddenly then there's some people more open for some other possibility than in the story, and feeling like it's complete as it is. That's completely something else, and it's not for anyone. It's what is happening. A tree, a wall, a sensation, a sound. Nothing has any meaning. That's the freedom. And it's everything. So that you don't have what normally it's like, oh, I have to behave in a certain way. Oh no, I didn't do the right thing. Oh, I should behave in a more, oh, I want to be more relaxed. And oh, it's always going on something. And then suddenly that's not going on anymore. And then suddenly it's like, it's everything. So it doesn't matter what's going on. And it doesn't mean that all the patterns, what we thought before, there are patterns and I shouldn't do like this and I'm so tense and all that. I don't care. Then there's being tense, yeah? Or not saying something or anything, yeah? Then there can be like that, and then it's something else. So it's complete as it is. Not saying that to yourself, because that's another thing. It's everything. So there's nothing going on about behavior or all that. No, That's the freedom, that it's everything, and not only here, like in Roes or something like that. No, it's everything. So it's also in other people or bodies. It's there too. Of course, there's an it's unconditional love. Doesn't mean there's a liking everything. That's something else. That's not saying like everything is accepted or okay. No, it's not okay. It's unconditional love. And it can be like, God, what are you doing? Something or whatever. Yeah. But in a way, it's being said, it can be felt, but maybe not. It's empty. And there's a question, what is the purpose of this illusory body and mind? There's no purpose. That's the story. We are so into purpose and meaning, all that. Trying to find out what's going on, to understand, that's a huge one, knowledge and all that. It's already complete, so there's no purpose. It's what it is. It's what's happening. That's complete already. This is more describing what's going on. This is not like that you can do something with this. This is no help. This is of no use. Of this, there's no help. Something like that. There's, because what's seen is what's saying. It's like there's no one. So who's there to help? It's already complete. So what is help? There's no help. No. So there's no purpose. There's no meaning. It's already complete as it is. And it can be anything. It can be like, or that, or. But that can happen. That won't go. That's life. Life is everything. There can be any feeling. It can be an accident. It can be the table. It's everything. That's what's going on. And on top of that, we are thinking it's happening to me and all that. And then they're saying here, no, it's not happening to someone. There's a lot of information, but there can be information and then it's gone on the television, and then there's closing the screen and it's gone. Where is that? It's going nothing. Life is not going anywhere. It is. It's very simple. That's the freedom and the joy. It's what it is. Cup of tea. Is that already? Sitting. Hey.
I remember when I was young, maybe in secondary school, and I heard for the first time that they were saying, oh, the function of the trees, you know, they change the carbon dioxide into oxygen and whatever. And so I found that really strange at the time. So it's just life, you know, I didn't know that there was a purpose or meaning or function. It came as something weird to hear, you know. And also when you're asked in the story, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you don't know what that means. It's like, what does it mean? In fact, I love dancing, so I thought, oh, you know, I just wanted to be on stage and perform, maybe, you know, things like that. But just to do with what life was emanating like at the time, it wasn't. You know, I didn't know what ambition meant, or just
what do you want? That's already the question.
Yeah. I mean, some children say, oh yes, I want to be a policeman or whatever, but no.
Can be. But yeah, it's also, what is that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going slowly into the past, and the future is real like that. Yeah. Or the future is important. Yeah. Things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
See, it's so, well, obviously I work things out conceptually, and in the story of life, you know, young children or go to school and they're sitting in front of a desk just when the most life force goes through the body, and you're trained to just sit there.
But that's also a story. That's also a story about how you should go, how children should be, or some.
But that's what I mean, you know, automatically the concept.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
the understanding. Yes, the idea of how it should be or how it shouldn't be. Yes.
Yeah, that's so strong. Yeah. So then it's strange to hear that it's already complete. Yeah, and then what you say is like, that doesn't match or something like that. That's strange. So, because we think in the story, and when the story is real and everything, then they're thinking about how to deal with all that. And then, but this is so completely something else, and that's difficult. But I understand what you say. Yeah.
I guess the nearest is understood is a very young child. Everything is just completely unconditional. There's no awareness of how things should be or shouldn't be. That they just are. They just are.
Yeah. And then it's everything. It can be lying on the bed, or much energy, or sitting, or so like it's just that. Yeah.
But then this talking and me talking, and that's that as well. So
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's talking. It's not
Yes.
going anywhere or meaning something. We are so trained or believing in all the ideas about meaning, about what's in the thoughts and all that, the content. Yeah. Can be like in those meetings, can be though some concepts can fall away because that's not that strong anymore. Can be. Doesn't need to, but yeah, can be. In the talking. So in that sense, there's seems to be can happen that, but no, it's just sitting. It's just only
Yes.
sitting.
Literally, this is
Yeah,
just talking,
yeah,
laughing, smiling.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And that's the completeness. That's unconditional
Yes.
love, laughing or like there's
Yes.
nothing to do with you
Yeah.
or me. It's that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
apart. Nothing
No.
apart.
No. And it's not Rose or Catherine. It's like it's that word and then that it's that. It's one. It's that and that yeah, it's how can you tell?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it
And then
doesn't matter what it is.
and then just stopping talking and just breathing, and it's like that's that.
Yeah, then there's breathing and
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Rose.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is there is also nothing to accept.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it's so funny.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's only for a few hours, maybe days. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, it's endless. I'm angry, but I'm accepting I'm angry. Oh no, it's not alive. It's like being angry can. It's like little. It's really like little. It's being angry. Rah! Like that can be. Maybe saying it. Maybe just there. Yeah. Doesn't mean it's nice or whatever. It's what it is. Being angry, rah, can be, or something else. It's also with patterns. It seems like I want to get rid of some patterns about behavior or things like that. That when there's no, it has nothing to do with me, patterns. It's what's embodied and that's going on. It doesn't matter what's going on. That's strange to hear because that seems to be really important, how to behave in the story and things like that, how to relate and all that. There's no one doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not saying that to yourself because it's not saying it doesn't matter what I'm doing, because that seems a bit like, yeah, that's something else. It's like it's everything. You cannot say it to yourself like it's everything, because when you say it to yourself, then it's already lost. It's something, then becomes something else. Yeah, it's everything. That's the completeness, but it doesn't say anything about how it is, something like that. It's what it is, like "Rah!" or pain, or I don't know, a table. Life is not about you or me. There's no center. There are not 8 million centers or something. No, there's it there's one, and that's what's seeing or felt. There's sensation somewhere. That's everything. There's no outside. There's no inside or a center. There's computer, table, hand, sensation, sound. Mm. Somebody say, I think I have a fantasy friend. Can be talking to someone in your head. Yeah, can be. Mm.
We talk to ourselves and we're not there. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm not. I'm not talking to you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
wow, it's so simple and innocent then.
Yeah.
It's so simple and innocent. This
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Just every now and then you get little
Ah.
glimpses, you know. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
and so silent as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
So dead and so alive.
Yeah. And it's just we think we sit in a meeting and there's a computer and everybody's there. It's much more simple than that. There's talking. There's a hand. There's that. It's so subtle and one thing, and there's that spot, and there's yeah.
No one there to be alone as well is
No. No.
thank you.
Thank you. It's already this. It's already this. It's everything. It's everything. That's the joy. Life is that. Life is already complete. You can't miss it. It's the only thing there is, and it's everything. It's everything. That's unconditional love. It doesn't matter what it is, how it is. It's complete in itself. Everything is complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Roes.
Thank you.
That was great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Wonderful
Thank
meeting.
you. Yeah.